The Holy Bible. Take a minute and talk about that for a minute. A real telling of the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible. What is it? What does it mean? Book of the Mormons. They're different groups, really. All united underneath my flag, but not for the reasons you might think. I sponsored them. Paid for them. They use my inventions. The Bible is a collection of stories or reports from my field commanders of old. And it's been totally disjointed and changed and rewritten and fabricated. And not to say that's really a bad thing, just you have to be that old, you have to be as old as me to truly understand it. Or truly understand what it is, what makes it up, and how it works. And realistically, what it really is a bunch of field reports and first-hand accounts of real things, and then people have kind of adjusted all those things a little bit. And you really have to be me to truly understand what it was they were saying. And even I can't really understand what it is they mean anymore because it reads like gobbledygook now. But then again, they tried to make it to invoke people to act better and be better and stuff, and passages that would help people. So it's kind of like a creation, really, more than anything else now. And you have to be thousands of years old like me, or whatever old like me, to really understand it. Anyway, the real story. There was once an amazing, wonderful inventor, likes of which that the world had never seen up until me, for some reason. And I had a little help later on. But for the most part, all kinds of inventions like saws, chainsaws, gears, wooden gears, a lot of things were my actual inventions. As in me, no one else. No one else had invented them apparently before me, and no one else... anyway, whatever. No one else was better than me. I invented a whole bunch of things in wood, and I even patented a lot of my gears, although they weren't exactly patented underneath my name, apparently, or something. I'm not exactly sure, or either I'm just so old that people have forgotten who I was. Anyway, well, I mean, I'm Lucifer. People know that, at least. At least my name is somewhat known. Brian, Alexander the Great, Jesus, just a few names. So anyway, point was, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was this great inventor. I invented flight, engines, gears, and all kinds of other things. Silkworms were found, blah blah, used, blah 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 blah. I was able I had enough money and enough ships and stuff that I could call. I had access to anything in the world, and we used it. And we brought the world together in a way that had never been brought together before. Also, this fanciful story that people portray, or the past portrays of the past, is ridiculous. It's kind of like just a story. If you had seen the great nations, or if you knew what made China truly special, or what made Russia truly special, the great old ones, you would know that if you knew the true stories of how the earth competed and how nations, how peoples worked together in the past, that's the real legacy of how the Spanish, the Mexicans competed against the Russians in buildings and cars and stuff like that, chariots. Every race, every nation, more like every nation, competed against one another in buildings and towns and cities and production. And it's what really made the earth unique and special. Anyway, these fake stories of it really loses the majesty and the true greatness of what made the earth special, what made the Orient special, or China special, what made Korea, what made Russia, what made Germany, England, Italy, all these different states. What truly made them special was how they competed, they brought everything together on the world plate. They chose something to be great at, and they were. Like, it's true that I sponsored a lot of different groups, and I did. But then after I was done sponsoring, these nations still stepped up and kept competing and kept making things better. I mean, realistically, we were pretty damn advanced and pretty well off in the 1700s and 1800s. But what really makes every nation great, like Scotland and England and Ireland and France and just a lot of nations out there. Luckily, I made sure they kept the records in the cities where where I had helped them, where I had sponsored them, and then where they had continued on the path towards greatness. Um, because I didn't want them to lose or forget how great they were, because I knew they would. In stories and stuff, you really don't really know how awesome. That's why every town basically has a museum. Because I didn't want, people had sacrifice, people had triumphed, people had really, really, really worked together. And that's why I wanted so many pictures in every town in every state. Because I didn't want that to be lost. And I knew it would be. I knew how easy it was to just print a report or tell a story. And the sacrifices of the people that had been there, the people that I knew. How I had sponsored them, how I had worked with them, and then how they had continued to progress and mine and do these great things, even after I was off somewhere else doing something else. I started many towns, many cities on a path towards building civilization. And after I was gone, after I was moved on to another town or another place, they kept going. Anyway, this is kind of sad how in modern day, like a lot of at least you can go to every town and see a museum and see how that town had played some particular key role in something or not, or just been a town. Anyway, different towns do different things. Some of them just look good and look nice and are friendly and have yummy food. So it's something I actually started in Rome, actually. Anyway, though, I wish people really could know the real story of the earth and the real story of how everybody worked together and how everything was amazing.